Good day, viewers, and welcome to today's Now Streaming, reaching you live from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria, ACNNTV. Now Streaming is an informative program, and on this show, we highlight key facts and analyze issues and happenings around you and the world. We are here again today for another episode. Remember, you can join the conversation by sharing your thoughts and questions via our phone lines or our various social media platforms, showing or as will be displayed on your screen. We will be glad to hear from you. I am your host, Abosede Tayo, and today I have in the studio with me my co-host, Lavinia. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, same here. Good day, viewers.
All right.
I'm Lavinia Tadegrono once again.
All right. And joining us virtually to discuss the natural disaster before us currently in Nigeria are the Most Reverend Marcus A. Ibrahim. He is the Anglican Bishop of Yola Diocese and the Archbishop of Jos Province. Also with us is Right Reverend Obiora Uzochukwu. He is the Anglican Bishop of Mbamili Diocese. The Right Reverend Victor Ebipade Oporu. The Anglican Bishop Western Izon is also with us. The Venerable Chukuma Ejikeme, a priest from the Anglican Diocese of Gombe. I welcome you all, sirs. You're welcome to the show, and I'm sure it's going to be a delightful experience. First, we will look at the top headlines from front pages of a few newspapers, and I'm going to start with the Nigerian Tribune. So on the Nigerian Tribune, we have how Nigerian doctors order foreigners are exploited in UK. This is a BBC report, and you'll find that story on page 5. We also have Wike appoints 14,000 advisors, 359 liaison officers. You find that on page 26. Our acquisition of Obajana cement plant followed due process. This is coming from Dangote. Sanwo-Olu receives federal government approval letter for Lekki Airport. You find that on page 27. Expect high intensity rain, riverine flooding. This coming from NIMET, warns north central and southern states. You find that on page 5. We have, I will hand over Nigeria free of insecurity. This is coming from the president. You find that story on page 2. Okay, so we have other stories there, but we quickly move on to New Telegraph. Now, on New Telegraph, we have reps probe federal government's disbursements to states, local governments since 2012. You find that on page 6 and 8. Buhari gallants Lawan, Ariwola, Okonjo-Iweala, 446 others. And this is talking about the national honors, the awards that were given to certain individuals. You find that on page 7. We have 2023 campaigns. APC shine away from Buhari's records. This is coming from the PDP. You find that on page 7. IMF sees Nigeria's inflation easing. You find that story in the New Telegraph. To this, you can see the headline there just above the masthead on the front page. And we have study ties video games to dangerous heart rhythms in kids. This is on page 27. Good to find out certain new facts, just sort of a health watch. So we'll quickly move on to This Day. Now, on This Day newspaper, we have Buhari, citizens who contribute to national development deserve to be appreciated. It says honors Okonjo-Iweala and many others. Okay, you find the story in This Day newspaper. We have floods, 500 confirmed dead, 45,000 houses destroyed, 70,000 hectares farmlands submerged nationwide. That is sad and disturbing. You find that story too in This Day newspaper. We have federal government issues Lagos approval letter to proposed Lekki Epe International Airport. You find that on page 10. Okay, that's the much you can take from This Day newspaper. So we'll quickly move on again to This Nigeria. And on This Nigeria, we have Buhari vows to end insecurity before May 29. Okay, we would love to see that. If you find that story on page 4 and 5, and the writer there says confers national honor on 443 Nigerians, 7 foreigners. It's a call to duty. Senate President responds on behalf of recipients. Like I said, you find that story on page 4 and 5. of this day newspaper. So we have Osinachi serially abused by husband, says witnesses. You find that story on page 16. That's on the gospel artist that recently died. So we have ASUNEC meets Thursday to decide on strike. You find that on page 5. The bottom story there, we have 2023 INEC deletes 2.7 million double registrants. Okay, that's a huge number. Says PVC is ready for collection November. You find the story on page 5. APC kicks as Ohaneze louds Afenifere MBF for re-endorsing Labour Party's OB. You find that on page 12. IMF downgrades Nigeria's 2022 growth prospects. You find that on page 15. Okay, these are the few papers that we'll take, but I think the story is there that are very obvious. The national honors, they were given to certain individuals, and unfortunately the floods that have been ravaging for some days. Well, what can we say about the national honors?
First of all, in my opinion, it is insensitive
At this point in time, I
to
believe.
hold such a program or event. Like I was saying before we began, even if it has to hold, it should be, low key and not celebrated with so much pomp and pageantry like it did, because it is absolutely insensitive that a country that is facing this disaster, this crisis, this should be a national crisis. The president, the vice president, they should be there in person. I've seen this thing happen in the United States, and you would see the president being there in person. If they're saying, oh, okay, he's attending to other issues, this is important for a president to be there, but there they are, we're just celebrating national honors. Really, they're saying, oh, this will contribute to national development, but right now we're facing a national crisis and disaster with other things birthing from this problem, like food scarcity. But here they are doing this. Absolutely insensitive.
Sure. Well, we'll talk more on that eventually. But then, looking at ASU strike so far, I know we've talked about it over and over again, and why it should be resolved, why it's important for it to be resolved, and who should be. And then now we're having ASU waiting on the president to speak or give an order on the no work, no pay. I mean, it's been a long cry. It's been a cry that has been for over 7 months. It's painful at this point. Well, what's the headway? Where are we heading to?
Speaking in my opinion, I think the president should meet them halfway.
Sure.
Meet them halfway. You can't just stand on that. He's the only person that has the power to waiver that order and decide, like, if he would pay them the 6 or 7 months, or
just a part of it. Yes.
Meet them halfway so we can resolve this. They are adamant in their own right. And the government, the federal government, on the other hand, meet each other halfway. They're willing to meet and actually say, oh, okay, we're going to return back. They're deciding tomorrow. So I think the federal government should soften its ground, meet them halfway so that we can resolve this. It's overdue.
It's overdue. But then, many persons also say, why should they be asking for pay when they actually didn't work? I know, like you said, in their own rights, they are being adamant, which should yield results. I mean, we shouldn't drag on issues for over 10 years, But then at this point in time, should they really actually be asking for pay? If you were going to explain to anybody out there that would think it's actually wrong of them to ask for pay when they didn't work.
It was an agreement for God knows when, for God knows how long that wasn't honored. So you can't even bring that into play, because it's not just about this month that they didn't work. They want the federal government to actually honor that 2009 agreement. So that's what's actually at play alongside this. So let's look at the root cause of why the strike started in the first place before we address whether they would be paid for this month or not. Are the federal government willing to honor the agreement in the first place, or even if it's not the whole thing? Like I said, meet them halfway, talk about this. Then the months will be considered. Let's see if they'll be paid or not.
All right, so let's move on to 2020 elections. So we have Wiki here appointing 14,000 advisors,
Like
many other
why?
officers. I mean, it's interesting to see. I always say, well, I would love to see how the 2020 elections will unfold
All right.
and the activities. I mean, don't you think they should be focusing on campaigns and many other things? I mean, Wiki has been in the forefront of many things for many weeks now.
What are you going to do with 14,000 officials?
Okay.
First of all,
Yeah.
well, like what are they for? Even if they have a portfolio, each and every one of them, I think that's a staggering amount.
Yeah, it is.
Considering the fact that he has done 2 tenures, yeah?
Yes, sir.
And he's on his way
Way
out.
out.
So why are you doing this? Focus on what's important.
Oh well, we're on the lookout. We'll see what
Right.
comes out of this entire decision.
Right.
Okay, so and that's much we can take from the newspapers so far. Viewers will go on a short break, and when we return, we'll go straight into the main issue of the day we've mentioned earlier, how the floods are ravaging, and we're going to look deeper into it. So stay tuned.
Good morning, the whole world. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Delta States. And welcome to Patani. Welcome to Patani. Welcome to local government of Patani, local government area, the headquarters of Patani. This is Patani. It has turned to Patani Island. You can see the flood, you can see the waters, you can see that area has been overtaken by water. And I can make bold to say that this is a personal ID camp where the water have driven the entire community to tow. And then right here, this is St. Matthew's Cathedral, Patani, right here. And as you can see, water has overtaken everywhere. This is Cathedral Church of St. Matthew's, Patani. That's on Western Izo. And then the church premises is now overtaken by the floods. And we have here with us His Lordship, the Right Reverend Victor Ibipade Okoro, the Bishop of the Diocese of Western Izo, with us. Standing beside him is his supervisor of the Cathedral, Venerable Simeon Reyes. So let's hear what our Bishop have to say. No, you are welcome, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir. Yeah.
Well, we thank God for life. We have solace in the Word of God in Genesis chapter 8 and chapter 9 that God said He's not going to destroy the world again with water. And so whenever we see flood like this, our hope rests on that promise. The Cathedral Church compound is part of the most high places in Patani here. Over a week ago, most of our churches has been sacked by the water, even in Patani. But what you can see here is just between Saturday and today. And we got information that it is very heavy. It's still coming down to us. Well, we will not leave. This is our place. This is our home. There is no place to run to. We are here. And we will continue to pray that God will make the water to recede very quickly.
Yeah, welcome back, viewers. If you're just joining us, this is now streaming, showing on Advent Cable Network Nigeria, ACNNTV. And I still have with me in the studio my co-anchor Lavinia. Yeah. I'm excited to have you here. And virtually we have the Most Reverend Marcus A. Ibrahim, Right Reverend Obiora Uzochukwu, the Right Reverend Victor Ebipade Okoro, and the Venerable Chukuma Ejikeme. You're all welcome once again. We'll be looking at the topic, the flood jeopardy in Nigeria. That's the damages and the way forward. We've been seeing reports over the past few weeks on how the floods have been displacing people around, you know, and it's been causing a lot of havoc. It's quite sad, and then it's disturbing. So we have some of our fathers in the Lord that will speak to us about the progress so far and efforts that have been made to, cushion the effects of this flood around. So, when we went on a break, you saw the reports from Patami, that's in Delta State, and how the flood has covered major parts of that area. So, we'll be speaking to you, sir, the Right Reverend Victor Ebipade Oporu, that's the Archbishop of Western Izon, Diocese of Western Izon. So, sir, can you tell us so far so good? Yeah, I believe so far so good. What's the progress reports from your end?
All right, thank you so very much for this privilege. So far, so good. As the day goes by, the water increased, and initially we were able to bring our people to the cathedral compound.
Okay.
Like I said in the video, cathedral is part of the most high places that the flood really affects. But for the fact that the flood is already in the cathedral compound, every other of the churches in Western Diocese has been submerged
Oh, wow.
except for the ocean. And so we used to have people in the primary school.
Yes.
I will show you
Okay.
in the primary school over there,
Wow.
so that they take solace there.
Yes.
But as I'm talking to you, we are trying to relocate them. Most of them are fled because the place is also submerged.
Sure.
We are trying to bring them to the gallery in the cathedral
Oh.
so that at least they can put their things there. For now, that is where we are. And we've been calling people to help us because my people are mere business people.
Okay.
There is no market, no shop, nothing. So my wife and I are trying to see if we can just get gari for the people that are around us because they can't even cook, no firewood to cook now. And so that is what we are now. And as the day goes by, the water is coming day by day. You can see the bishop, the vicarage is already submerged. I have told the clergy there to pack their things to the bishop's court.
Okay.
This is the bishop's court here.
Okay.
This is the bishop's court. At least they can put their things upstairs. I will pray and trust God that God will not allow you to go more than that.
Amen.
So for now, it's a very serious case where I have sent for a canoe so that if I can go out, we use the canoe to go out. But for now, we've not gotten one.
Okay.
The only vehicle we have here is the diocesan bus. I've been able to move it out. Youth came, we pushed it out because we didn't know it would be this much.
Yeah.
And send it to Ugeli diocese
Okay.
so that it is there. That is the present situation now.
Okay. All right. Looking at the space now, just like you've mentioned, the entire space has practically been submerged. How are you able to manage the number of persons? Because I can imagine the number of people that are coming in, well, that beyond the diocese. How are you able to manage them in terms of feeding and in terms of hygiene and everything with the space? I believe it's not easy, but what are the little plans that you have on ground so far?
Okay, thank you. Our diocese is a very, very, very crucial. It's in a very crucial stage.
Okay.
Since this place has been, the classrooms has been submerged. Some of them have left for Ugeli. Some of them have gone to other places. But for the people here, I have just called the Council of Nines in our diocese.
Okay.
Some of them are in Port Harcourt and in Lagos, Bayelsa.
Yeah.
I've told them, let us organize things.
Okay.
So that I'm expecting them by 2 today. They are going to bring some food items, fast food items like Indomie, gari, and other things that they can be able to cook easily. But for me, as many of them that can come here, they can take their breakfast, take their lunch, as far as we still have it in the bishop's church.
Okay.
So I've called out to friends and to members of the diocese to assist. I'm still trusting God for people that will come to assist them.
Yes.
All right, my lord. I just want to ask this: like, have you seen any state, local, or federal government response to victims?
Not at all. Not at all. We have not. We have not seen anybody. I have not heard that there is any place. that the government, either the local, state, or federal government, have come. Maybe they are still preparing to come, but for now, nobody and nothing has been said.
That's sad.
That is quite sad.
Okay, but then I'm sure, or let me ask, have efforts been made to reach out? I understand that it's actually expected for them to come over, but has the diocese rather tried to get in contact with any official to say, okay, this is what we need and how can you come in?
Okay, you know, the Anglican Church, we are ruled by authority. I'm a bishop, I have an archbishop. I've sent these videos to him and everything, and he is making effort. He has told me that he's going to reach the governor and others. So I'm still expecting his call, maybe around 11, 12.
Okay.
I will talk to him again and know how far he's done about that.
Okay, thank you, my lord. So I will go to yes, sir. I will go to the Archbishop now, Archbishop Reverend, the Most Reverend Marcus A. Ibrahim. Your Grace, you're welcome once again to the show. From your perspective, what is the diocese under you and other parts of the Anglican communion around the country? What have they done so far to support dioceses that have been affected by the flood so far?
I hope you're hearing me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Let me appreciate God again for the grace given to us to talk to the larger society through this media.
Okay.
Let me, first of all, again, give thanks to God Almighty for life. Because even in the midst of uncertainty of life, we should appreciate God.
Yes, sure.
So we thank God.
Yes.
Let me also share my concern with the President of the Church of Nigeria.
Okay.
His Grace, the Most Reverend Dr. Henry Chukwudomundokuba, for what the church is going on right now. On behalf of all of us here on this Zoom meeting, I want to, on our behalf, show our concern to the primate and to the Church of God. And also, invariably, let me show concern to the Right Reverend Victor, Western Zone. Actually, their predicament is beyond imagination. Looking at it is so pathetic. So we show concern to him. Now, going back to our own part of the country, Yola Diocese and then Jos Province, our challenge is enormous as well, just like Western Zone.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I am not in Yola at the moment. In fact, I'm in Abuja now. And when ACNN called me that we should all have a Zoom meeting or to come to the studio, I don't have things that I can show the videos and the flooding, some areas affected. So please bear with me on that.
No, it's fine.
It's okay, sir.
But if you look at it generally, the flooding in Nigeria is an annual occurrence. It's happening year after year. Over the years in Adamawa, in fact, if you look at the map of Nigeria, this flood is coming through Adamawa to Nigeria.
Yes.
We have the Labo Dam in Cameroon. And whenever Labo Dam is overflowed,
yes,
it will affect Nigeria. For instance, now about over 300 were killed as a result of this flood. And about 500 people were injured. Over 10,000 people were displaced this year alone. And the first recipient of that are Adamawa people or our diocese in Yola. All the churches by the river run of Adamawa, for instance, Numan Archdeaconry, and then we come to Yola South Archdeaconry, and all the areas by the river area of Adamawa were affected. And members lost their properties, mostly those who are farmers lost their crops, and then some lost their homes. So it's devastating actually.
It is.
And like the bishop said, Western Zone, and you asked me a question about our national church, or Anglican church, what they are doing to the relief to be sent to our dioceses. I, for one, in Yola Diocese, I didn't receive anything. But our own effort, what we do as a diocese, we try to help the churches. In fact, many years back, we have been doing, this is not the first year. It has been happening over the years. Like in Woodrow-Boki, the church collapsed. For over 1 month, the church is inside water. So we have to help the members and rebuild the church for them. Now, at the moment, we are trying to raise help from the diocese headquarters, which actually is not like Western Zone. Yola, we are on top of the hill, so it's down the valley that's affected. So our cathedral, our churches within Dimete Yola are not affected in any way. It's only outside Dimete Yola they are affected. So we are trying to raise help for them. Let me thank the Dr. Madu, who is trying to help us. He's the chairman, Church of Nigeria Relief Committee. He called me yesterday that on their own part, the outside, they are going to help us. So we appreciate all their efforts. But as a diocese, we are also trying to sell relief materials to them, how they can eat and then come out of this challenge. Our neighboring diocese is Jalingo. Jalingo too is affected badly by the rain or by the flood. And though I didn't speak to the bishop before calling you today, but I know very well that to Jalingo, they are affected. And if I heard you from the introduction, you talk about somebody from Gombe area. I don't know whether I got you right.
Yes, you're right. You're right, sir.
Yeah, if there's somebody from Gombe that is in this meeting, he can also talk about Gombe area.
Sure.
I was with the bishop yesterday in Jos, so I didn't discuss about that with him.
Okay.
So generally, we are affected, and there's no any help from outside the diocese from our church.
Okay.
Yes.
Considering the fact that we asked earlier, if any government agency or aid has come in so far, response, yes. Comparing it or looking at it from this angle, that we've had awards being given out at this very point in time, what's your opinion? Should we be celebrating anything? Because beyond the dioceses and beyond Christians that have been affected, many more persons have been affected. It's been a devastating experience for many people, and then we're seeing awards being given at this point in time, such a huge celebration. What do you think? At this point, should we be focusing on issues, or we should be focusing on awarding? I mean, we don't, not that we mean that people don't deserve to be awarded, but at this point in time, what should be the priority?
Yes, our dear sister, let me again, see, this country, there are many things that surprises in Nigeria, so much surprises. Because to us in the Northeast, we went through Boko Haram insurgency. In fact, I lost about 7 churches to Boko Haram. I can tell you there's no one kobo from federal government or state government given to us. It's only at Garikida, when with the Boko Haram burned our church at St. Mary's, that the governor make a pledge he's going to give us some helping hand. In fact, what he said, he would only give us half. And up to today, nothing is given to us. So governments are just doing their own, which the concern should be about our welfare, our well-being. But government are not doing it. What about the kidnapping? What about the killing every blessed day? But they're giving awards. But that's their own agenda. Because you see, government people or politicians, what matters to them is to achieve their agenda, not about the masses. So that one, let them judge it themselves. But I, for one, is not something worth doing now.
Okay.
Because people are suffering.
Sure.
People are dying. If from the record I said to you, 300 were killed by this flood from Labo Dam coming to Adamawa, because all the flood coming to part of this Benue up to Lokoja to their western Asia used to come from Labo Dam through Adamawa State. So the government should be able to make this flooding every year. It's an annual event, and government is not doing anything. Right, but rather they're giving awards. So to me, the award is not something worth celebrating.
Right.
But I know they are enjoying it. Yes.
Sure, yeah.
All right. Very quickly, Your Grace, before we move on, what is your advice to the government and masses in averting such an occurrence in the future? You know, in reference to the Lagdo Dam.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me, again, before I say something on that, let me thank the Minister of FCT.
Okay.
He is a brother from Adamawa, and he did very well. He gave our people he gave us 1,500 bags of grain That is his personal effort, not the state government, not federal government, but his personal commitment. So I'm taking this opportunity to thank the Minister of FCT for giving helping hands to our people. Though he gave it out not to the Anglican Church, but he gave it to Khan, and Khan gave it to all the chiefdoms within the areas affected. Numan Federation, under we have Achamat there. We also have Demsa Federal Kingdom, gave it to Hamampata, and then to Murungumbula was given to them. And I'm saying that as I talked to Dr. Madu, that if I can even get a contact to talk to the Army Minister, I was talking about on behalf of Anglican family. So we thank him. Now, for the government, what you ask me, what they should do, there should be agreement between Nigeria and Cameroon government, so that they should be able to checkmate this. If they are going to release the water, there should be an agreement how they when they should do it and how they should do it. Not to open the whole dam and to kill many people. But once they open that dam in Cameroon, it's going to affect Adamawa State and all the states by the river Benue, all of them. So if government can agree with the Cameroon government where they're going to open, so that people can take precaution against that. And also in Nigeria, they talk about the grading of the rivers, River Benue. They started that work. I don't know how far the work have gone, and billions have been spent. We in Adamawa, we didn't see that work done in Adamawa State. So if they can do the grading of the rivers from, let's say from even from Western Arizona area, coming to River Niger and all these places, I think it will help. The volume of the water will go down and not going to affect other areas by the riverside. So that's what I want to advise if the government can do it. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Your Grace, for giving us in-depth reports from your end.
Right.
Yes,
so moving on to Mbamili Diocese, Right Reverend Obiora Uzochukwu. Sir, you with us? Bishop of Mbamili Diocese, we would like to know what the situation report is from your diocese so far and the losses recorded. It's like he's not around. Yeah. We'll move on to somebody from Gombe, probably. Sure, yeah. All right. Venerable Chukwuma Ejikeme, a priest from the Anglican Diocese of Gombe. What's the situation report from Gombe? Obviously not.
Okay.
As well. All right, so maybe we'll just discuss a bit. Talking about the Lagdo Dam, I understand there was an agreement between Cameroon and Nigeria decades ago that they said they're going to build this dam. So Nigeria should build a sister dam to this dam. So whenever it overflows and they get to open it, it channels right through the Atlantic Ocean. My understanding on the information I got is Nigeria did not uphold her end of the bargain, and hence Cameroon, have already signed the agreement with Nigeria, so they go ahead to open the dams, because if they don't, it will cause a problem for them. So it's Nigeria now that has a problem with, keeping her own end of the back end, and this is what we're suffering now. Because for many, many years, a lot of people keep saying, oh, Cameroon does this to Nigeria. Exactly. But not a lot of people are aware that they have had an agreement which our country did not keep their end of the bargain.
Okay, but don't you think, as much as we are... Okay, thank you so much from Gombe. We have... Yes, yes, you can go. We can hear you, sir.
Go on, yes, Venerable.
Please. Yes, please.
No.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Now, what I want to say on that one, yes, Nigerian government have not done part of their bargain. But what I want to also advise now, why not Nigerian government should build another dam that will now check that Lagdo Dam? Maybe before, between the borders of Nigeria and Cameroon, we have a huge land around Fufore area. Now they can build a dam with a huge land that can. Now the government of Nigeria can check that, can hold that water there. So that it's not going to be affecting our people. We have a River Gongola too, around Shelling, and also around the Lunguda people. It's also affected them so much. But that one, there's a dam, what they carry down that the government built in Adamawa State, or the general government built that dam. So the flooding is not much around the River Gongola. So I think Nigerian government can also do the same thing now and build a bigger dam that will stop the water flowing to Nigeria.
All right.
Joining us, sir, Venerable Chukwuma Ejikeme. Please, what's the situation report from your diocese and the losses recorded so far?
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Your Grace, good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning, my Lord. I greet you, sir. All right, just to give a feedback on the Diocese of Gombe.
Good morning.
In my itinerary, first and foremost, I want to commiserate because that is on what I'm seeing there is not as much as what I have in Gombe. So, my Lord Bishop, I commiserate with you, sir.
Thank you.
We have some of our churches that have been pulled down by the flood. Like 3 churches under my itinerary. In fact, one in Nakara, the building was completely pulled down. After making an effort, the block, everything crashed down completely. Then the second church, St. John's, Tunu Choir, part of the about 3 rooms in the vicarage, they are all pulled down. Then in Ayaba, it was not as much as what we had in Tunu Choir.
Okay.
But in some other in Kuma, one of our churches, St. Matthias Dila, like one of the pictures I sent there to the host, you will see where the water pulled down about half of the vicarage. And then some of the houses are just there pulled, and in fact last week when one of the rain that rained on Wednesday night to Thursday morning, but many of them slept because they are filling the homes, so you don't even know where to move your assistance. Things that were just destroyed, just lost. How we can practically have some more sort of damage again in the future. So, Gombe, so it is not easy because most of them have their buildings built with mud, but some of them built with block. But you and I can tell because of the nature of what they do. So, but we thank God that we are mobilizing effort. His Lordship has given mandate for the everybody, every pastor that is involved to assemble the evidences of what happened, so that within the diocese we can see what we can do to help them and see what else we can do. But the most important thing is that the issue of flood has become a perennial issue. And like this year, mostly in Gombe, I think for the past few years, it has not rained in Gombe like the way it rained this year. So it's actually a big problem. That is why you are seeing some of these buildings collapsing. And thank you very much.
Okay.
So very quickly, sir, I would like to know how the response has been from the government on whether the local, state, or federal government, have you received any assistance in your locality?
I can't say that the government has done. It's mostly the people concerned to do whatever they are doing. You know, this is political era. The politicians have what they are immediately concerned with, looking for votes. So they don't really have time for all this work, if not just to say, make comments. And as a diocese, we can't leave the whole thing to the government. Leave it to the government means that we can't. So for now, I can't say that the government has come out and said this is what it's just only for you to hear over the news that is commiserate with some of the people that had gotten damages. But I know that in this our area, Gombe South, predominantly Christian, and this is also a place that is closer to Yola. The issue of flood is more than in Gombe North, which is more of desert. Thank you.
A quick question also here for me. Have you encountered any form of challenge in evacuating persons? Because we've had reports of a few people who have been affected by the flood refusing evacuation in some parts of the country. Have you encountered any challenge in evacuating people from either residents or around the community? Okay, I think we've lost the call there. So we'll quickly move on to the Bishop of Mbamili Diocese. That's the Right Reverend Obiora Uzochukwu. You're welcome. My Lord, you're welcome to the show. Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay, so so far, what's the progress report from your end? Can you tell us what's the update so far in terms of evacuation and organizing relief materials and others for the people that have been affected by the flood?
Are you speaking to me?
Okay, so we're having a little technical challenge there. So we'll take the last word from the Right Reverend Victor Abipade Oporu. What are your last words for the people who have been affected especially, and then to the government on what should be done about this situation?
Very much. Thank you, Your Grace, for throwing light to that and all that. Well, our people are basically not afraid of water.
Okay, that's good.
We can swim in the river. Yesterday, I paddled, came around and all that. But the fact still remains that there is no land for business. There is no land to go up and down. So it's a very serious challenge. What I'm telling my people is that instead of waiting for the government, I've zeroed my mind over government for a long time, especially during this administration, because like you were saying, the issue of the award and the rest.
Sure.
If you remember when the train from Abuja to Kaduna was bombed and kidnapped.
Sure.
And you can remember that particular time, the federal government was doing one party, one marriage and the other and others. They've not really, from this administration, look at life as so important. So anything government is, if they do it, fine. If they don't do it, we can't remain looking at government to always prepare for the flood. Like in Patani, what we did last year, we tried to block every canal that would bring water in. And so the flood did not really affect us quickly, and we thought that little work we did was enough. Not until the thing just came. So I think each community, there is no community, should prepare for the flood one. And those of them that God is blessing to build, they should raise their building higher than whatever it is before. Because if the government doesn't do anything, there is nowhere we can go. This is our land. We suffer this thing every year. And then we should always prepare for it. That is what I would say. And then always keep something for it. But if the government will come, fine. And like the bishop said, the archbishop said, dredging in this river, I'm just behind the River Niger. If you look back, River Niger, where barges pass with crude oil and all that, that river there's a partial dredging that was done in that river, but the sand was returned back to the river. The only thing they did was allow their ferries to pass. Now, if they dredge it properly at the bank of the river, I don't think this will be to this magnitude. So, encourage, we tell the government to do the needful. But for us, the local people, we should always prepare for this until God will come to our aid. So, thank you very much for the opportunity to share our feelings about the flood. God bless you.
Yeah. Thank you, my Lord.
Okay, so Well, we have reports from the federal government on the number of persons that have been affected also, and well, so far so good. The federal government has said rather the flood has killed over 400 persons and injured over 1,000 people. Also, so we have to compare with reports from local communities to be able to see how it tallies, and we're hoping for more reports on that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll still try reaching out to Right Reverend Obiora Uzochukwu, if you can hear us. Okay. Okay, all right, sir. I think we've lost the call. That's sad.
Right.
Okay, so so far I believe that it's important for plans to always be made, because this has become a yearly.
Right.
It's not supposed to be. It has become like a yearly event. Like, okay, at this point, floods will be expected. You've mentioned how the federal government has not kept her own part of the agreements.
Yeah.
Beyond keeping her part of the agreement, what should be done? Because it can't be built in one day, whatever needs to be done. But what should be done to prepare people towards things like this?
I'm one person that has been fascinated by Netherlands, the country Holland. This is a country that is below sea level.
Okay.
This is a country that is known to be below sea level now, which means they're prone to some serious flooding. But how have they been able to manage this, that till today Netherlands is not submerged underwater?
So we should learn from them.
If we could learn the technique, the technology, or whatever it is that they have done to be able to keep afloat for all these years, for centuries. This is not something that it's just for centuries. That's how it has been.
Okay, so we'll take off the final words from Venerable Chukuma Jikeme. Please, sir, what are your final words and thoughts on this situation so far? Hello, sir, can you hear me? Okay, yeah, so what are your final thoughts on what we've discussed so far, and to speaking to the people that have been affected, Christians and the communities, and again the governments and well-meaning Nigerians?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
From us in Gombe, for us in Gombe, we have a simple solution that help us with us. We just have a mind which is coming together to be of help to one another. We have used it in some time past in some places, and we have results.
Okay.
So some of these places that are affected, that is exactly what we're going to do. The diocese will go in and see how we can contribute, and see that we help them to repair what is damaged, and then see how we can plan with them to avoid future occurrences. That does not mean that we will not continue to engage the government, that are hooked up with government. If we see help from them, we appreciate God. If not, we continue. The truth remains that the government must know that they have a responsibility to the citizenry. The issue of flood, they already know the areas that are prone to flood. And so what we expect from them, at every point in time, they should be put to be more proactive in the steps they take. Just like we are talking about in the midst of the flooding, we have not really seen what government has done. But the only thing you see around you is that they are going around giving out, celebrating, and doing one to work around this and that. And so I believe that we still need a government that will wake up its responsibilities. But as a people, we can't fold our hands. We must continue to help ourselves. And that is actually the vision and the mindset of His Lordship by Bishop. We'll continue to see how we help ourselves, bearing one another burdens as God enjoys us. So I want to appreciate you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Grace.
Okay.
I want to also appreciate the Lordship of Western Zone, and I want to encourage them to contribute. God will continue to help us in this country. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Finally, we would like to take the last words from the Anglican Bishop of Yola Diocese and the Archbishop of Jos Province, as the Most Reverend Marcus A. Ibrahim. Your Grace, what are your final thoughts on what we've discussed so far?
ACNN for being our voice so that we can speak out to the society. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, Your Grace.
Secondly, I want to thank all of us that contributed. Baba Western is on, it is well with you. Gombe people, it is well with you. Mbamili and other places affected. Kotigi, recently we saw it in our Church of Jeddah Bishops Forum for information that Kotigi was affected as well. And Bauchi Diocese too, I didn't get the report to my table, but I saw it on the NTA news where we're affected, Bauchi area. So what my final word to say, one is to thank our primate, our leader. I know him very, is a man with a big heart, with a loving heart, with a compassionate heart. When he was the Bishop of Gombe and our Archbishop, he came to us with relief materials under the Fulani headsmen. And it was a big help to our diocese. So I want to make an appeal to the primate through the Church of Nigeria Relief Committee, headed by Dr. Madu. Please, as a matter of urgency, they should go out to look. Even they cannot go with anything, they should go to Western Zone and see what happened. At least they can have a report to tell to the General Church of Nigeria. They should go to Gombe, they can come to Yola, I can go to Kutigi, and went to Mbamila, other dioceses affected. The Bishop of Brother Prosper, Borough Diocese, all of them were affected. So at least this committee should come out, go to these places and share the burden with them. And as for the government of Nigeria, I want to call to our government, please, they should go out beyond the celebration and see the plight of their people. Like Adamawa State, we appreciate the minister, I said it earlier, but what about the government of Adamawa State? What are they doing? What about Gombe? What about Taraba? What are they doing? So all these governments should do something. Though the Bishop of Western is also that we should call on them. We will not keep quiet, my Lord Bishop. We'll keep on talking to them because we elected them. And when we have a problem, they should be part of our problem. So I, for one, when I go back to Yola, I will use our media stations in Adamawa. I will speak out because we have to talk to them. They are on their calls. So we'll talk to them, and then if it means talking to a national TV station, we'll do that. So that let the government know that we are under pains and they should listen to us. Okay. So thank you very much, ACNN. I pray that the Lord will help us to come out of this challenge. But let me agree with the Venerable from Gombe Diocese, my brother, we should be proactive. We will do that. So it's something beyond our strength. It's government that should do it. And I pray that with this program we have done today, the government will hear us and they will take measures. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much, Your Grace. Thank you so much
thank you.
to our fathers. We would like to thank the Archbishop of Jos Province and the Anglican Bishop of Yola Diocese, who just finished speaking His Grace, the Most Reverend Marcus Ibrahim. We also want to thank the Right Reverend Victor Ebikpade Oporu, who is the Anglican Bishop of Western Izong, and the Venerable Chukuma Ejikeme, who is from the Diocese of Gombe, and also from the Anglican Bishop of Mbamili Diocese. Though we cannot get him, but then we appreciate the efforts. Right Reverend Obiora Uzo Chuku, thank you so much for being part of the show. Thank you for telling us so far how it has been so good, and we hope that things will turn out well and good soon. And just as His Grace has said, it is well, and we believe that it is well with us all. Thank you so much for it, and it's actually impressive to see that the leadership of the church is taking a stand and then is being proactive in trying to resolve, trying to cushion the effects of everything that has been happening so
actually
far.
Doing more than the government.
Yes. So, well, we hope the government responds soon, but then just as everybody has said, we must be proactive too as individuals to be able to support each other before, instead of waiting for government just in case. Just in case we shouldn't be the case. So I really like to use this platform, would like to use this platform to also reach out to well-meaning Nigerians who will be willing to, or who are willing to support all those who have been affected by this disaster. It's actually more than a blessing to give as little as you can think of. Also, so you see an account number that will be on your screen that you should use to send in whatever amount it is to victims. And if you are close to, or you're in a position that you can send in relief materials beyond just cash, you can just do that. It's a blessing, and it's always nice to always be part of somebody else's happy story. Viewers, thank you so much for joining us on the conversation today, and it's been an amazing time with you on Sardinia. And I mean, it's quite a disturbing issue, but then we hope for better things to come our way.
Our thoughts and prayers are all the victims, those who have lost their loved ones or property or whatever it is that means something to them. Our thoughts and prayers are with them.
Yes, and then it's also sad to know that over 15 dioceses have been affected around the nation. I mean, there are many persons here, so we really love to, if how I put you, it would be nice for you to be part of this happy story. So please contribute as little as anything to anybody. So you can join us tomorrow again for more on many other issues in the nation. Like I always say, you should always be an active agent of positive change today and always, as I've mentioned. And I am your host, Abbas Editai. We do have a fulfilling day and be a blessing in someone's life today. Goodbye.